I just
know what's right for me.
I just want you to live your best life.
I know what's right. What is that from? I know what's right for me.
No. Y'all, we just had a very long conversation about Poodle just walked around his apartment testing out every fan to see which fan gave him the maximum cooling.
It was hot in here, and I didn't want it to be loud.
And then also, Poodle's getting a new trash can that we've been organizing.
Yo, when you're over 40, getting a new trash can is an event.
It's an event. It's under the cabinet, but
I've
it's
installed
smaller.
it.
It's smaller, so we're thinking, what if he gets a can crusher for his bubbly cans? Because he goes through so many with his vodka. So, because his trash can's smaller.
No one gives a fuck about this.
But we can't. If y'all have a good can crusher that doesn't take a lot of room, come at us.
I'm not having a can crusher in my apartment. This is absurd. This is your bonus episode.
Hello, this is Captain Poodle speaking. Are you ready to find love?
That's ahoy, matey.
Love.
Do-do-do-do.
Exciting and new. Go online. They're catfishing you.
Shocker.
Fiancé.
Soon you'll be flying to parts unknown.
90-day Beyonce.
Marrying someone you only met on your phone.
Be they French or Chinese, a brand new K1 visa's the key.
Ooh, the key to what, Poodle?
To love. It's 90-day gate. Let's love.
Welcome to 90-Day Gaze, and this is your bonus episode.
Welcome to your bonus days.
Not about my fucking trash can.
This episode is called Come At Us. And because
y'all came at us.
Y'all came at us with questions.
You came on my face.
Now, listen, y'all. We had a lot of questions come in. We're not going to be able to get
hundreds
minus 90. We had 10. No. We're not going to be able to get to all of them today. However, we are planning on, which we've talked about and we're still teasing and we're developing, but in our Weekly Squeal,
the new weekly show,
we will be taking some advice questions for that from some of our members. So your questions will be answered then, if not today. So just
don't hold your breath.
Hold tight, except for that person who said
y'all should come to Greece and get some Greek men in here. And I said, I agree. I don't know how I can answer that question.
That's not a question. That's
more of a comment.
That's more an affirmative, yes.
That's like when I'll do theater shows and we'll do talkbacks, and all the old people or the kids will say, how'd you memorize those lines?
Yeah, who said that, by the way? Who asked that question of going to Greece? That was good.
I don't know. We weren't going to use people's names.
I don't know who it was. They're somewhere.
I didn't expect you to raffle through. Y'all, I cut up all these so we won't know what they are.
And you just threw them on the floor. See, that's why you have a mess. Why didn't you just pick these up and put them in the trash?
I'm going to pick them up later.
But you don't pick them up later. It's from Alice. Alice wants us to go to Greece.
Let's stop bickering and join in unanimity.
I'd like to give the world a cock in perfect harmony.
You're very loud.
I'd like to suck some Latin dick and have it squeeze on me. There we go. There we go. So we're going to answer some questions today.
Thank you. That's much better.
We're not getting to all of them, but we're going to do our best. Before we jump into this,
I'm going to roll the questions.
Well, do you have an announcement, actually?
Oh, God.
Because we're doing it this... What? We got to tease. We got
more Rotary Club. Oh, the big announcement.
Yes, you guys...
This is a big announcement, y'all.
We are covering Netflix's Too Hot to Handle.
Again... You're so not theatrical.
What?
I want to do a drum roll and give a bit to create some anticipation.
Here, I'll edit it out and you redo it. I promise I'll edit it out.
I'm not going to fall for this because it's like Charlie Brown with Lucy. Y'all, Charlie Brown should have put a gun in Lucy's mouth.
Okay.
For all the shit that she did she did to him.
That got violent.
Come at me if you think Lucy was a complete and utter fucking bitch.
However, you would have been Lucy.
No, I'm not that I'm not that much of a psychopath.
I'd like to ask your brother.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Anyway.
y'all, we're excited. So we're going to start watching that this weekend. We'll be putting that up.
Too hot to handle.
There'll be, I think we're going to do a couple episodes in our regular feed. And
Probably 2 in our regular feed, and then
the rest are going to
other
go
6
in our
the
Patreon.
at the
So-
$5 level.
Yeah. So anyway,
We're just trying to keep you thirsty whores happy.
but also,
It's going to fill that Love is Blind size gap in your heart.
we do appreciate the Gatreon because, as we said, Poodle students have dropped out. And also,
You always there's like I said, I'm a charity case.
no, and also, y'all, I'll be honest, like, with our ACAST, it's fine. I'm just saying that.
Not many people want to do ad revenue
nobody's
these
doing
days.
ad anymore. So
Turns out people are basically saving their money.
which they should. So we just want to let you know that we appreciate you if you support us at that level very much. It helps us make this content for you.
Yes.
So we love you guys and girls and non-gendered people.
And you know, and undecideds.
And undecideds.
Some people, it's not they don't know what they are. They don't even know. They have no
They
idea, or
don't-
maybe it's not important to them.
Are you going to get comfortable before we
No.
Because you keep flopping around like a twink on an 8-inch dick for the first time. Remember that when you just can't settle? You're just like,
No, I took to it. It was like when you have a goldfish and you just throw them in a pond for the first time. They're like swim like they ever knew how to do.
goop, 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 goop.
Let's jump in.
That
We
was
gotta-
what Finding Dory was originally about. Sitting on a fish dick.
I don't think fish have dicks.
I don't think
Just
they do either.
openings. Boy, that's not exciting,
That's
is it?
boring.
All right.
All right, pick your
Can
first
we
question.
finally? Okay,
Yeah, let's
so I get
go.
to do it first.
I'll let you do it first.
Okay,
Since I ruined Too Hot to Handle for you.
you did. I wanted to curate this a little bit better. Oh well.
What did you want to do?
I wanted to can I get some easier questions before we jump into heavy ones?
well, then,
I'm just going to choose what I want.
So Poodle for 10 minutes said we're going to cut them all up and draw them, and now he just decided.
Why can't you roll with it?
Well,
In the middle of
I'm
things.
just saying you make proclamations and then you realize it's not what you
Okay,
want to do.
I like this. That's true. You know what? It is a woman's prerogative to change her mind.
It's true.
All right.
All right.
If you can't tell, the place across the street from
They're
me is
mowing the
having their
lawn.
maintenance.
Are we recording? We are.
Come at me if you live in a residential area and every single day of the week another place does maintenance.
Same.
So you hear all
Same.
the whole time. One day, Monday, so it's like constant maintenance. Maybe that's just California.
Maybe.
Or maybe people actually
It's
mow
always
their,
warm here and
maybe
everything
people mow their
grows.
own lawns
Well,
other
no-
places. No one mows their own lawn here, y'all.
It's true. Well, and everything grows here. Even when my Aunt Peggy came here, I remember her looking around going,
It's so green.
just everything goes here. God damn it, I can't get nothing to grow.
It's because she's cruel.
It's upsetting.
Okay, here's question number 1. We're going to say the first names, you guys, because you guys volunteered them. If you don't like that we used your name, tough shit. Don't
Sorry.
listen to it. This is from Linda.
Linda,
I have an Aunt Linda.
you do.
Yes. She says, I love my boyfriend, but he doesn't shower enough for my liking.
Oh.
Okay. I grew up showering every day, and he does it maybe 2 to 3 times a week. It's hard for me to know what to say, LOL. I tell him his armpits stunk once, and he apologized and showered. But is there an easier way to get him to shower more?
Yeah, Linda. You just withhold that pussy till he showers. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Withholding pussy
That's not
or
good.
dick is never a good
That's
idea,
not a good
y'all.
deal.
It always backfires.
A lot of people do that in relationships.
Yeah, it always backfires on you.
No, it's not good.
No.
It's not good.
It's kind of a cruel way. Like, it's to withhold sex from someone, whether you're male or female, is pretty cruel.
It's not good.
It's like Mother Nature's doing to me right now.
Boy.
Thanks, COVID.
Now he's on the other side of it and he's okay.
I'm kind of on the other side of it, and I'm like thinking about: do I take up painting? Do I like all these things that my life was with that sex kind of like overshadowed things? I'm like, maybe I'll do a public speaking tour.
Do I buy
carpentry?
Do I buy that Groupon for Rosetta Stone?
I can learn Esperanto.
It's true.
Who knows?
So, what do you think, Poodle? You drew the question. I'll let you.
I'm going to go the other way that you did. I would encourage you to have sex more because he's more likely to shower after sex.
I'm interested in that because I thought, like, if she sucks his dick, Does he not shower? Does he just take a...
I have not showered after a dick sucking, but I've usually had to do something after.
Because it's in the McDonald's parking lot, and you've got to go get a Big Mac.
Priorities.
Y'all,
Priorities. Y'all, that drive-through line was long.
Come at
Had to
us.
get something to do.
if you fuck someone and then you saw them in the drive-thru afterwards at Whataburger, because that's me. I saw that bitch at Whataburger in Ardmore, Oklahoma, right behind me.
Wait, so you would both went to a location.
An undisclosed. We went to a field, and then we...
Shut up.
This was in Oklahoma.
You went to a field and had sex, and then you were in the Whataburger line?
Yes, this is when I met the waiter at El Chico's.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Boy, this is going to end.
I met the one gay in the
well.
village. Anyway,
Anyway.
we fucked in the field under the Oklahoma stars. If you watched our
How romantic.
watch and chat with it's like he gave me an Oklahoma hello. Hello.
Hello.
It's true.
For you. Hollow, like
Hello.
Mammoth Cave.
It's true.
Anyway, so
Anyway,
let's get back to Linda's problem.
yeah,
besides,
Linda. We're terrible
the
at
Whataburger.
this.
What do you mean we, pale face?
Now I want Whataburger.
I haven't had Whataburger
That
in years.
hamburgers with mustard and those cut up onions.
Stop.
If they have tater tots, and you dip it in the ketchup.
Linda,
Linda,
I would honestly. This is it. It seems like an embarrassing thing to say because I know you don't want to probably offend him, but if you could maybe say, if you could make a deal with him about. Maybe I'm sure it's maybe not just times when you're intimate, but like maybe when he's like sitting at the table or like you're sitting with him on the couch, you can smell him and he's not showered enough. Here, what I would think about, I would seriously say, bring it up to him in a way that was kind of that was diplomatic, saying maybe it's a question of, is there anything Is there anything that you would change about me or my behavior?
maybe.
And there, maybe you guys could switch for that.
Just be open to that, Linda, because he might come at you with something that you might not want to hear.
He might say, "I need anal every other night."
And then next thing you know, you've got a strap on, and you're going, "Fuck you, Jake. Fuck you for this advice, Jake. I appreciate it."
But I just might. It may be embarrassing, but just say it, and it might, after a while, become a joke. It might be the time he didn't know he smelled bad, and
I think when you're with someone and you live together, it's interesting, and a lot of people don't think of it, but how you handle these conversations that don't feel intimate are actually precursors of how you handle intimate conversations.
Yeah.
Like when you get older and he can't get it up or things like that, and you talk about that kind of stuff, hopefully. So I think just let him know. And also, too, not especially boys. I remember being a young boy and my mother saying, "Go take a shower." Like young boys we don't brush our teeth. We don't shower. Remember your mother yelling at you to like go brush your teeth and shower?
Yes, but I always showered.
But I mean, I did too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I remember
You were like, I was watching myself. Hey, Satan, get off me. Why do I love boys?
Why do I love Jimmy Carlisle? Please, Jesus, make me clean. Anyway, so
Crying.
there's some people just aren't taught that.
Yeah.
So I think, Linda, it's kind of like sometimes we just have to bite the bullet and say, you can always start a conversation and say, "Hey, I want to talk to you about this because I love you and this feels awkward for me and I don't want to hurt your feelings. I just want to let you know kind of what I'm thinking because I want to be honest." If you usually start a conversation with that, and then you can just
It's
say,
hard to fault them. Yeah.
maybe you could say, "I have a real sensitive nose and I just notice stuff." And
it also might maybe his soap. Maybe his soap's not deodorant soap.
well, I don't think even if you're wearing deodorant soap, you need a shower more than every 2 or 3 days.
Some people don't.
Well,
but some people need to. But you might want, and also know that if you come at him with something, he's got something saved up for you, and so you'll get a good dialogue.
And maybe it's just an open, like
an alternating current,
saying, "Hey, and if there's something that you've been feeling weird to talk to me
Let's talk about it.
I'm open to that too."
All right. Thank you, Linda.
Thank
Your
you,
turn.
Linda. Hopefully that helps.
This bowl is my grandmother LaRue's bowl.
This one's a big one. What is this one?
It has her name on it. LaRue Altman. It's a Tupperware bowl that's very stained.
Altman's a pretty name.
It's my mother's maiden name.
It's pretty. Okay. Now, is that the grandfather that was a terrible last
Yep.
name? Or she? Oh, okay. So what was LaRue's maiden name?
Teague. T-E-A-G-U-E.
T-E-G-U. I know some
My
Teagues
brother's name.
in Ardmore.
My brother's middle name is Teague.
Oh, I like that name. Okay. This message is from Christine.
Okay.
This reminds me of our watch and chat on Saturday. Christine, I will return to you.
I like it how you sing the worst song and the
Your
whole
name
show.
will forget. Y'all, our watch and chat.
Christine,
uh,
sing for
me.
me, my angel. Yo, the watch and chat tomorrow is Phantom of the Opera, the British version with Ramin Karimloo, who's gorgeous, and Sierra Bogas, who's wonderful.
We're going to be doing it in our Facebook group, and get ready. Not all of it, but we're going to be going live on Facebook in the group and performing some things along with them.
We may be cadenzaing off.
It depends on how drunk we get.
Think of me fondly when you fucked my house.
Okay.
Maybe not that one.
I'm saving it. Christine says, it feels kind of silly using a fake name here since my Facebook name isn't real either, but here we are. Y'all.
I get it.
So anyway, let's...
I get fake names out all the time.
Y'all seem really good at going back and forth between humor and serious topics, so hopefully it won't be too much of a downer. But basically, I'm wanting advice on how to be okay with the fact that I will most likely never have another romantic relationship. My past is full of awful, abusive men, and my current is full of meaningless hookups. I have plenty of repeat visitors, and trust me, I have fun, but that's it. It's been almost 6 years since anyone was interested in dating me or even getting to know me. I'm of an age where dating options are dangerously thin. Men around my age are single for a reason, and as lonely as I get, sometimes I'm not willing to settle. Plus, I have sole custody of my kids, so my free time is non-existent unless I leave. I think you cut off the rest of the question. You really did a good job of... Oh, God. You know, I can't
That's
even...
called mixing seriousness with humor, y'all.
You know, you just...
You didn't organize these very well.
I did. It's... Where's the rest of the question?
I think that's probably it. Is it up there? I don't think there was one. Was that it? No, maybe this is it.
Maybe that.
This is riveting.
Why?
Here, we're going to pause it till we find the rest of the question. Okay, we're back, y'all.
Okay,
we found I cut up all the pages.
So Christine says, plus I have sole custody of my kids, so my free time is non-existent unless I leave them with my mom for a night. So I'm not looking for advice on how meeting someone or platitudes about... So I'm not looking for advice on meeting someone or platitudes about how some people don't find love until later in life. I'm just trying to figure out how to be okay with it just being me forever.
Okay, that's a great question.
That is a great question.
So my initial response to this is this person has a lot of this. She has a lot of perspective on her life. Mm-hmm. I kind of love it where she can say, there were some abusive moments. I'm trying to move past those. The current ones are a lot of Mr. Right Nows.
Mm-hmm. It sounds very healthy, actually.
Yeah.
Healthy
So the
perspective,
way she's processing this, I think it's a she.
Christine Ty has returned to you.
Again, how have you managed to sing the worst song on the show? Anyway, don't do it. Please
Your
don't do it.
chain is so mine, you will sing for me.
I'm trying to be serious and answer this person's question about their dilemma in life, and you're singing fucking Phantom of the Opera.
I'm bringing you joy, Christine.
What I would tell you, Christine, is basically how to be okay with it only being you. Well, like Oprah says, y'all, self-love is the most important thing.
True.
And as RuPaul says, how the hell are you going to love someone else? Well, you can't love yourself.
It's true. It's true.
So that's the most important. I think you're definitely, if you're not there, you're working your way towards that. I would ask yourself, what would being in a relationship give you that you don't have? Besides the idea of, because you really can't say being alone, because if you have a good relationship of friends, maybe it's not something you need.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe you don't. So maybe my first bit of advice is to really cultivate your kind of essential BFF friend group. Your friend group who will be there for you regardless. Even a friend who you text every day, or someone you FaceTime with every day.
Even introverts need social interaction, and meaning that, yes, introverts need time to be by themselves and things like that.
Yeah.
But when I used to run a senior men's group, support group, there were group members that were. We don't know your age, Christine, but these were men in their 60s
She
and 70s.
says she's at an age where most single men have problems.
And so,
trust me, girl, I know.
but there's something to be said for. I remember I was very touched by this. Two men that became friends. I think they both were in their early 70s, and they would just text or call one another that morning just to make sure they got up. And that sounds. I don't mean it to sound morbid. I mean like there is something of knowing that like. This person's going to check on me just to make sure that I'm okay.
And romantic love is not the only kind of, like you said, sexual chemistry is very important. You can have, just to get personal, I have one of my friends who we also have sex, but we're really good friends also. And
I want to know who this is.
You're not going to get to know my life. Stay away from my life.
Oh, you're still having sex with that one, and you didn't tell me.
No, I'm not. Not right now.
I bet you were, though.
Can we not talk about my? I said you.
Ooh, I know who it is.
He's trying to figure out my life, y'all, and I don't like it. So he's nosy. That's his problem. So what I would tell you is that can be one. If you can find someone who you can also have like romantic feelings for, and also just cherish that physical experience, and that's enough. But what I would say is there's so many types of love, except for the partner who lives with you, who sleeps on the Mr. side of the bed, who has the Mr. toothbrush. And I would tell you, I'm single right now, and I'm not really looking for a relationship. Because I'm kind of I feel pretty fulfilled. So if you've got that in your life. If you've got so much inside you, this is not trying to be a platitude, you don't need. There's not a lot you lack for. So I would say keep getting that kind of friend community.
Yeah, I think a friend community is important. I also think it's just having, for you, it's kind of that whole, it sounds cliche, but there's some truth to it. This whole dating yourself, of what you would want to do, what kind of things do you even like to do on your own, and what, because I have to say, I was single for 15 years, and I've been in a relationship now for 5. I'm just as happy now as I was though when I was single. It's not like being in the relationship.
It's just different.
It's different, and there's some things that I miss from being single that I don't have anymore, and so. I think that's going to happen for you. I feel like with being okay, being by yourself, I think the way a lot of it is just your mindset of you decide I'm going to be okay being by myself. And even if it's a little bit of fake it until you make it, which sometimes that can be an easy way of, if you're not comfortable going to the movies or to dinner by yourself, well, don't do it now. But
don't go to your house.
But do those things, because that never bothered me. But there are some people of even traveling by yourself.
Yeah,
you want to take it.
I love that.
I do too. I remember I was very nervous just years ago. I was like, I'm going to go to this trip by myself, and I fucking went and I realized this is amazing. I can do what I want.
I would go off by myself in China all the time.
And she got the Wuhan.
And I did not. Anyway, I would also say, don't worry. You could. How am I going to have to get used to being alone for the rest of my life? Don't think about the rest of your life. You don't need to worry about the rest of your life, honey. Right now, we're worrying day to day. This is a journey. We're not getting toward anything.
Do what makes you happy today.
Right now.
Maybe plan for this week. Yeah. But having things like, it's going to be 20 years from now, and I'm not going to have any somebody.
Because who knows what happens next week? Who knows?
Yeah. And I think that is probably more what often I've seen affects people's happiness more than what actually is their circumstance.
They're worried about what's the result.
Their perception of what their future will be. Yep. Whether it's negative or positive, it's the expectations to let go of. Positive or negative. So let go of your expectations.
Surrender, honey. Surrender those, because you can't change them.
Surrender.
Oh, all that I have to give.
There's some Sarah McLachlan for you.
I have seen Sarah McLachlan
oh, God,
at
just
least
pick
6 times.
Just pick the question. Just pick the fucking question.
So now I have to hurry, huh?
Ooh.
Oh, here's another big one.
Ooh, a big one.
I like them thick, y'all.
I like it thick, y'all. I like it thick.
Oh, God.
Give me that question on a thick.
Okay, here we go. This is another long one. This is from Heather motherfucking Torres.
We just said her last name. I hope that's
Heather,
okay.
how about Heather motherfucking?
Motherfucking.
Heather motherfucking. She says, I should not have, but I did. I let a longtime friend out of the friend zone. For 12 years, I have known this man's affection for me, and I was always honest. I will never give you what you want. He is a much younger man than me. He's like a Z-Ed, just lovable and fun. 6'6". Ooh. Just not my guy. This is important. He wanted kids and a marriage. I met him right after my divorce, and I already have 2. That life was of zero interest to me. He eventually met a girl. They had a child, was engaged. They remained friends, and they broke up. It's been a good 5 years since their split. So long story short, we went out for Valentine's Day. That's lovely. 2 singles enjoying the pre-pandemic vibe, queens.
Good.
Suddenly, this much younger man, who I friend-zoned 12 years ago, wasn't that cute, lovable Z-Ed, but he was like trimmed up, haircut Z-Ed, and was like a man.
Okay, I'm trying not to get off on a tangent, but we have all known those boys that suddenly become a man overnight.
So I
Next
took him
thing
to the...
you know, you're sitting in the back of a pickup truck, and you
This
didn't
is
even know
not
they
your
were a
story.
senior. There's hay in your mouth, and you don't care.
This is not your story.
Fine.
So I took him to the neighborhood dive bar, the Country Girl. Ooh, been there. Love that idea.
I can't
and
get off on a
eventually
tangent.
just kissed him. I made the move. It blew me away, and I was like, oh, okay, I could do this. This is the fuck I wait 12 years for. I'm not even sorry. Well, as I was opening up to the possibility of maybe things growing, he's now super needy. Y'all, I can't handle needy. I'm there with you. That is my kryptonite. Ugh. I feel like I'm destined to fail because he will send something of sentiment between us, and I don't remember it because he gets upset and goes radio silent for days. He needs constant validation, and it's fucking exhausted. He's a great friend, human, and I was open to things progressing, maybe a tad afraid of that dick. But the fact I didn't remember a Facebook conversation from 8 years ago and him getting passive-aggressively upset is not something I had the patience for. I understand that. Now I feel like, again, I need to be the asshole who kind of led him on because I can't handle the needy. I like my space. I can't constantly validate someone, remember every detail of the time we spent together on Facebook exchange over the course of 12 years. My mind is not wired that way, and I'm not an emotional person. I will validate you on my own terms, not because you're fishing for it. Exactly. Sends random selfie. Also, we have not had sex. Just kissed him at the bar. I made the move. This might be important information. It might not. Anyway, how do I let him down gently? I'm friends with his family. I met him through his family. I attend his family functions. Fuck it, whatever. Keep going, queens. Thanks for giving this healthcare worker an outlet.
Sending prayers to our healthcare workers.
Send prayer. Call no prayer warriors. Send love and light. Send them up. Lift them up. So she's basically asking.
Did Jake write this?
Yo, we're the same. We're like sisters.
I'm scared the day you and Heather meet because it's going to be like
I like Heather.
2 bitches in a broom closet.
We need our space. I'm not a needy person. Needy people are there's never not a bigger turnoff for me. Not a bigger turnoff. Know that this is the feedback I've gotten from people who have been needy with me. They do that because they can't make the conversation, sit down and say, they can't go to that conversation and say, I'm not getting this from you. They can't say that. Mm-hmm. And they're looking for reactions. My first instinct is to tell you to just say, this isn't working, and it's not you, it's me. That's the old me who would say that. I can't commit. Mm-hmm. The other would be just to sit down and write with him or chat or whatever and saying, this is how I feel. Mm-hmm. I think and that's really vulnerable. You know, saying, I like you, but I don't think we're right. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is better now to say this now, then I think you might be more, and I've said this to people before, it hasn't gone well. When I've said, I think you might be more emotionally invested in me than I am in you. Didn't go well.
I wouldn't say that.
No, I didn't say it that way.
Oh.
I think you're into me more than I'm into you.
Don't say that.
But, and you can also put it on you saying, it's hard for me to be intimate with someone. That is one thing, and maybe he'll understand that.
Mm-hmm.
If not, just say firmly that I don't think this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that what I've learned to do is I don't think we're a match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we fit together for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
No, I think I agree with all of that. I think, there's a little bit of, there's what's your responsibility in this as well, Heather. And it's so, because you did kind of open Pandora's box with this kiss a little bit.
Yes.
So there's that.
But they were drinking.
No, but I'm saying though, but
at a
she
bar.
kind of helped.
Yeah, and she initiated. Yeah.
She initiated this relation. And that's nobody's fault.
No, not at all.
But it's more meaning. So it's this idea of when you taking personal responsibility of that, when you open that door, then be responsible to shut it.
Yeah.
If you opened it. And so we didn't get this from the letter. I mean, I think we mostly did. I'm pretty sure we're getting from the letter she does not want to be in a relationship at all.
Yes.
If there is a part of you that is interested in that with him still, I didn't get that.
I'm not getting that.
But I'm not getting. But if you do, then I agree with Jake. I think you just need to speak to him. My kind of way of going about doing that would be I would not use any kind of characteristics about him and his behavior.
Yeah.
Because I think
Better.
he's going to get too defensive.
Yep.
And I think it mainly is sitting down and it's like, look, this is where I'm at. This is how I'm feeling. This is what I need, and this is what I want in a relationship, and kind of just stating that and seeing how he responds to that. And he probably is not going to be able to see your point, or he's probably, or you're going to say, I need someone, if they get upset with me, I need someone to tell me they're upset with me, and we can dish it out, and we can talk it out, and it's done within 30 minutes. So for me, not talking about something, ghosting me, I understand that's maybe the way you process things.
Yeah.
But for me, it's just annoying and hurtful, and I don't have time for it.
I would append that by saying I think the relationship as it is now is basically you being annoyed by his neediness and him being angry at you because you're not remembering something. Mm-hmm. So maybe say, this is not exact anger. Me being annoyed and you being angry isn't really helpful for anybody. And if you could set it up like that to make him understand if both sides are putting out negative emotions, then something's not always right. That might be a more logical way to explain it. So you explain to me relationships in a logical way, I'll agree with you.
Yeah, it's that idea of like, and y'all aren't in a relationship, so this is just not even barely courtship, but it's anything when I tell people when they start dating and it starts getting serious to ask how the other person fights or how they get angry, because then you can somebody can say, oh, I usually don't say anything for somebody and I wait till, if someone says I need time to get over it and I need a week to get over it, that's bullshit. They need to get over it and talk about it.
Yeah.
But then you at least know. But this is, I get why you wrote us, Heather, because this is like, it's not like you're dating.
Yeah,
you
but
just
also,
are friends.
You have a relationship with their family,
But then-
and so that's tricky. But you can't. The family has nothing to do with your relationship with him.
Yeah.
So
I know you feel guilty or whatever, but that has.
And you know
That's
what?
not your responsibility to take care of them.
If they love you apart from him, and they're friends with you. However, more of a Debbie Downer he would be, you can probably still hang out.
And you never know. You might talk to him and say, this is where I'm feeling, this is what I need.
Yeah.
And if maybe he makes an effort to change that.
Yeah.
And you get to see that 6'6" dick. Send us a picture.
I think that was another one. That was the other guy.
Oh, that's the other guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe not. I don't read well.
I think it is. So I think that's
Yeah, I mean, I understand. This is, and I'm a lot like this. Neediness bothers me on a cellular level, and it just gets on my last nerve, and I understand why it's probably zapping a lot of your energy.
As long as, and I will say, responsibility, as long as you're not using not wanting, quote unquote, neediness as a defensive for not being vulnerable and close to somebody.
That's true.
Because people do that too.
Yep.
I don't think you're saying this, but I just, again, calling your own kind of what's your responsibility in this of, I just know a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm not emotional, I'm not needy. Well, that's because they're defensive and have an insecurity and don't want to talk about it. So if it's that girl, then work on your shit. But I don't think that's the case with Miss Torres.
Your turn.
I emailed her and said, can we use your name? She's like, I got no secrets.
I'm going to write that biography of her life one day.
It's going to be a
I've
good
already heard a lot of stories.
biography. Okay. Ooh, I like this question. This is from Elizabeth. And her question is, hey, Queens, advice. I recently had a falling out with a friend, and before that, she owed me a bit of money for a vacation we went on, where said falling out occurred.
Okay.
So the falling out happened on the vacation. Dumb, I know. Don't lend people money, even if you've known them for 12 years. I've reached out to try and extend an olive branch and tried to keep things civil through this whole thing, but she's blocked all forms of contact with me, even on effing Venmo. All my
That's cold, y'all. You block someone on Venmo. That's serious.
That's gold. All my friends and family, including mutual friend, have agreed she's very much in the wrong for what went down, even though... Y'all, I know I ain't perfect. How should I handle this? Should I cut my losses and learn my lesson, or try and talk to her and get my money back? P.S. If you want all the juicy deets, I'd love to email them to you, but it's too long for here. Okay, Elizabeth. I had a good friend once who told me...
Don't throw that back in there.
Oh, that's true.
Jesus.
Go
ahead.
I put it back in the pile. I had someone that told me once... I basically came into a little bit of money, and people knew about it, and so I had some friends that asked me for money. And
you won money on a game show. Just admit it.
I did won money on a game show years ago, and someone told me the best advice was, I said, what do you think I should do? And he said, don't ever lend money to people. Give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
If they want money, just give it. And don't expect for it to be repaid. Because it goes back, because the expectation you're going to put on that is going to eat you up at night. Just give it to them. And I think that, so that's rule one of this. Now, you've already lent them money, and I did email them back, and I was like, how much? Because if this is like $20,000, but I'm assuming this is probably like $500 to $1,000 for a vacation, maybe.
Maybe they split it. Yeah. Maybe $1,500.
So, because if it's like $10,000, I'll tell you my advice. Take their ass to small claims court and get your money.
Get with like Judge Marilyn Millian.
Yeah, and get your fucking money,
I
bitch.
want to have Poodles Court.
Poodles Court.
God, I'd give anything for a gavel. Oh.
I've heard that new Quibi show with Chrissy Teigen's cute.
It is. I can't get into Quibi.
Quibi's weird, but I love her. Yeah, I feel that way too. I need it on my TiVo, or I'm not watching it.
My conscience here says, or my gut says, honey, you're never getting that money back.
You're not.
If she has taken steps to block you, she is not. A, she's not interested in giving you the money back, and B, she's afraid she'll have to pay you back because she may not be financially able to do that, and C, she's not thinking of your interests at all. She's basically showing you who she is by that.
Yeah, you're honestly, the universe is giving you a gift to tell this person to fuck off and go your own merry way.
And I would like to, I don't know if this is true, I don't know if we saw from the thing, do you want to make up with her because you miss her as a friend, or do you want to make up with her to get the money back?
I think there was I saw a little bit of more of both in that question. So
because obviously, and here's the thing, you said, after all my friends and family, including mutual friends, have agreed she's very much in the wrong. It's nice to find that out, but it actually doesn't mean anything in this case. Whoever thinks it, but because she thinks she's right.
Yeah.
And should I cut my losses and learn my lesson, or try to talk to her and get my money back? It sounds like to me you don't need this person in your life. She wasn't like a best friend, However, if that's true and you really miss her, maybe you reach out, maybe leave her a phone message or leave a letter in her mailbox or send her some mail.
I think she's, with all the things she's told me, I think we're done reaching out.
Okay, that's what I was.
To me, I mean, unless it's not what you described. I recently had a good friend who just went with this. A friend had a falling out on a trip, and she didn't loan her money, but she was the same thing. She was like, Sugar, I tried. I called her. I'll text her and ask how she's doing. Like, she heard something bad happen to her family. She texted her and got one response of just thanks. Like, she did all this stuff, and I finally just said, this person is putting way less energy than you're putting into this.
Not comparable levels.
And it's not even like they're not even fighting with you of trying to give you energy. They're just shutting off. So, like, I think move on.
I would say take this money dispute as a sign from the universe that says this is a good reason to stop your personal connection as well.
And now, yes, because on a personal level, this is abhorrent to me that someone would not pay them money.
It's pretty awful.
That is like such a pet. I will pay you back and eat fucking ramen and ravioli for 2 weeks if I have to.
But the idea that she blocked you for everything is spiteful, and you don't need that.
And the idea that she's not paying you, I think, makes her honestly a pretty horrible person to begin with.
This is what I would do, Elizabeth. If you have some mementos of things that she and her, or just find something, go outside in your backyard. Hopefully, in your backyard, you can go there and burn it, and that'll be a symbolic.
Wow, I thought you were going to say what you wanted to say on one of our edits of just slash the tires of that bitch. I'm glad you didn't say that.
No, I'm saying if there's something that represents, and that way you have a physical reminder of that's gone now.
Yes.
And, and then sage the fuck out of your house after you do it.
Yeah, because the energy that you're carrying on this
is toxic for everybody around you,
and
unfortunately.
It's just affecting your life. So, as Poodle's mother would say, let it be.
Let it be.
Let it be. Y'all, that merch will be coming back this December.
I'm sure. When I need a quote of my mother talking. I need a recording of my mother talking about Frozen. It's a little abusive, but it was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
But I will say, as my dad would say, if somebody doesn't pay you back for the money they fucking owe you, well, they're a goddamn loser and ain't worth their spit.
Okay. Yeah, we're in one voice about this, Elizabeth. Move on.
Move on.
Move on. Move on. Shouldn't be in fifths. Jerk.
Is it my...
It's my pick.
Yeah, it's your pick.
Ooh. This is from... This one, a question's from Hannah.
Hannah!
Is it okay to say... Jackie's given us the name of the baby she's been talking about on Sissy Squad.
Yes.
That's Jackie Weissman's future child.
I hope it's fine now.
We've been talking about it.
God bless.
Sorry, Jess. Sorry if Jackie Weissman's mother-in-law listens to this and I've just blabbed the child's name. We've been talking about it on Sissy Squad, right? Do we need to edit this out?
I don't know.
It's not going to be.
Her, and I'll have to fucking edit it out.
All right. So this is Hannah. My sister has been struggling with alcoholism and self-esteem issues for most of her adult life. December of 2018, she finally left her physically and emotionally abusive fiancé. As you can imagine, my family... Yay for leaving! As you can imagine, my family was so happy. However, she still continues to talk to him regularly and lies to us about it. That's rough. Oof. She has been missing work a lot, and I'm afraid she will eventually lose her job. She keeps looking to me to be her source of happiness, and I just can't do it anymore. I work in healthcare, and in these COVID-19 times, I can only work for my own happiness. That's great that you can only control your own happiness.
Yes.
I know this was long, but honey, you should have heard Heather Motherfucking Taurus's one. I know this was long, but how do I tell her she has to be her own source of happiness and stop talking to that dickhead? Thanks in advance. I've listened to nothing else on my drive home from work but you two, because a bitch needs to laugh.
I love to laugh.
A bitch needs to laugh. I love to laugh.
That's the truth. Hannah.
Well,
first of all, Hannah, again, prayers go up. Prayer warriors up for our healthcare workers.
Healthcare workers, for
Love
God's
them.
sakes.
Love them. Love them.
First line. What's your initial response?
My initial response is, I think, and it's come up for me like the fourth time in the universe this week, and this is why I'm saying it. Al-Anon is a gift for you, Hannah, and you can do Zoom meetings for those. For those of you who don't know Al-Anon, Al-Anon is basically like alcoholics
friends and
or
families
they can go
of people
to
with
AA,
substance abuse.
But Al-Anon is for friends and family, because when someone's struggling with addiction and just that
The whole family is...
an addict's personality can be very self-centered and self-absorbed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not necessarily how they are. It can be more of just they're spinning in this addiction. And even if she's sober now, she still could be, because I guarantee you, if your sister had an alcohol addiction, she also probably had a love addiction.
Self-esteem issues,
So
she says.
there's CODA, there's Love Addict Anonymous. Those could be very, very helpful things for her. But again, I think for you, Al-Anon is where you're going to find other people that are in this situation and find a support group for yourself right now, because I think you're spot on in that you need to let your sister know that, like, it's not your job to give her happiness from within.
Her happiness does not depend on you.
Yes.
Which
speak, Queen, speak.
Which that must be really exhausting for you to have to feel that way, and especially when you're like fucking dealing with people on ventilators.
How do y'all think I feel? Poodle isn't happy unless I can be here to organize his house.
That is not true.
Or like get him to do it.
You invite yourself over and take the fuck over.
I just want you to live your
time.
best life
and I just
sleep
say,
well at night.
I just say basically, y'all.
Did you dust in here? I'm proud of you.
She's not happy unless she's got a project. I do it to make her happy.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what I would tell you is, give up the concept of making sure she doesn't talk to her ex. That's
an Al-Anon thing. That's
good.
You're trying to control that.
Yeah,
you got to let go of that, honey.
You can, as many times as you say, it doesn't matter. That they have such a codependent emotional connection that it's not going to help. And you can tell her all the bad things he's done. Doesn't matter.
Because it probably goes back to
a pattern.
She doesn't want him to talk to him. It all goes back to she's terrified probably that she doesn't want her sister to start drinking again.
Yep.
And that again, you couldn't get them sober to begin with, so you can't keep them sober now. You can tell them you love them. You can make suggestions, but you can say to your sister when she starts talking about him, you can say,
I can't.
Look, Susan,
I can't talk about your.
I want to
husband.
talk to you, but I can't talk about that. If you want to talk about these topics, or if you want to ask me about me and how I'm doing, because I need some support right now doing with work, I'm happy to do that.
And since she says she's lied to you about talking to him, that's definitely a cue that says it's not going to help it regardless.
And you can say, look, I feel bad that you lied to me about talking. I don't want us to have that relationship. So I'm giving you this boundary, but maybe asking her, I am interested in helping you find out where you can talk about him.
Yeah.
So maybe you can go talk about him in a meeting, or maybe you can go talk about him in therapy. You can do all of this is on Zoom or Skype. I think if she's interested in finding solutions, you can have those kind of conversations, but just don't make sure it goes back into just talking and bitching about him again.
And I would highly recommend, I know you said something in your, you said something, my family was so happy. If you could get the rest of your family to go to an Al-Anon meeting, I know that sounds like a lot of work.
This is great. I just had a friend. Yep.
Here's why. If the family keeps being cheerleaders or booers in one way or the other, that's going to make things worse.
Yeah.
In other words, they're happy when she's doing what they want them to do, and they're not happy when she's doing what they don't want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna? You're just gonna do whatever you want, just not tell your family.
Cheers and jeers only bring tears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at you.
And so, yeah, they definitely. That's a great point, because especially when you're struggling with addiction, it takes a fucking village of support. And I just had a friend who called me about her sister who's struggling with meth addiction and kind of trying to enter back into the mother's life, and the sister had done a really good job of getting the mother to set a boundary, but the parents won't go to an Al-Anon meeting. And it was really, I said this to her and she went, wow, I never thought to ask that from me. And I said, What if you ask your parents to go to an Al-Anon meeting, not for your sister, but for you?
Mm-hmm.
So the same thing for you, Hannah. Maybe ask your parents to do something for you, and y'all make this a family
That's a great
affair.
idea.
And then it can be something y'all share. And I guarantee you, Al-Anon, everybody needs to go to fucking Al-Anon. It's so great. It's so great.
And basically the root of this, Hannah, is vulnerability.
Yeah.
And being vulnerable enough to say, even to your sister, it makes me feel really badly when you do this, and I know this is not to shame you. And even then, Hannah going to your family and to your other family besides your sister and say, I need help with this because I'm not doing well here, because you're trying to be a stiff upper lip.
And on top of this, you're exhausted from work right now and stressed out. So you need
give
to
yourself
support.
a lot of grace too.
Give yourself grace, Hannah. We got one more. Oh, good.
The last of our poodle picks.
I'm glad. This one. This is from a name, Poodle's future lawyer. Y'all, Poodle needs a lawyer.
Woo! I'm gonna need one, y'all.
That retainer's gonna be so much and so worth it.
Someone's gonna send me a dick pic, and it'll get randomly sent by something, and it'll be in TMZ. Sexual predator, and it'll be me just going like this. What?
In a shawl.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, okay, so Poodle's future lawyer says, "Hi, Maddie and Poodle. I am a new attorney in my first year of practice.
Congratulations.
And I'm having imposter syndrome so bad it's debilitating. I feel like I know nothing, and I'm far too underqualified to be in this position. Even worse, I feel like everyone can tell that I am in way over my head. Have you ever been in a position like this? And if so, how do you move forward and gain confidence? I truly love and admire you two. You are a truly bright spot in my day."
That's sweet.
Oh, Poodle's future lawyer.
Just to say, if you ever been in a place for that, when you're the youngest person in an orgy,
Yes.
it's not been that's your first time there.
Yeah.
Everyone else knows their regular partners.
They know. They know.
And so
Who's
you just
squirting and who's flirting.
exactly. Thank you. You just You just have to be. You're trying to get in on a third, and they're just like giving you the stink eye, like "Get away, redhead."
Ouch. Ouch.
So
this hit home, Mama.
So we all have imposter syndrome.
All of us.
This is as someone who teaches you guys. I have a lot of degrees. Like, it's stupid. I have a lot of degrees. And I think I'm reasonably intelligent. And I basically people pay me to help them sing. And every morning, I swear to God, every morning I wake up and say, what happens if people find out I'm a fraud? Mm-hmm. And that's a voice that I've had to learn to deal with, because that voice is always there. Mm-hmm. Part of that voice comes from being a little gay kid in the South.
Yeah.
And not really, I think I told you before, when I looked back and someone asked me about my dreams and what I didn't want to do when I grew up, I honestly don't think I had them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I thought music, but it was all very general. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of the problem that happens if you kind of grew up with that thinking, or sometimes everyone has it. Mm-hmm. Basically, your idea is that you're not worth it enough. You're not worth it.
Yes.
So the problem isn't anyone else, because I guarantee you they're probably not thinking of that about you.
Yeah.
And if they are, if they're treating you like shit, that's pretty normal in a law firm. But also know that that's kind of what you have to do when you're the new person there. But you know what? You can't control that. Mm-hmm. But you can control how you handle it. As far as your ideas about your own self being an imposter, again, my things I keep telling myself are, you have to think about the things that you know you're good at. Give yourself a fucking pep talk every morning. Mm-hmm. I have to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like saying, I say, I love that I'm blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you're blah, blah, blah. Or I love that I can do this. I know this really well. And know that the idea of anybody being an expert of anything is all relative.
I'm nodding my head to all this because she's right. Keep going, Queen.
And I just know all of us suffer from this, and it's debilitating. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter how many degrees you have. Just know that all your colleagues are thinking the same thing. And here's the kicker.
Well, maybe not all the white straight men.
Probably not. They get everything they want. Here's the kicker. And no one knows anything what we're doing. We're all blind squirrels looking for a nut, honey.
Mm-hmm.
We're all bad at this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so remember that you think you're not. Everyone else is having the same thoughts. I promise you.
It's true.
So that's all I've got with this.
No, that's great. I kind of that's great because you kind of talked about the psychology and emotions behind it. Where I have some ideas for like actionable some things that maybe you could try.
Okay.
First of all, anything Brene Brown is going to help you right now.
Yes.
Her podcast, Unlocking Us, or
She's a perfectionist, and that's perfectionism and that feeling like an imposter goes hand in hand.
There is,
honey.
What? Let me look because there's several Brene Brown books that I read, but there's one that it's not. I don't think it's Dare to Lead.
It's the first one.
Which one is it? I can't remember that.
I thought it was just me.
Oh, I was actually going to say The Gifts of Imperfection.
Oh, that was... Yeah.
That's like one of our first ones. It's like $8 on Amazon. Let go of who you think you're supposed to be and embrace who you really are.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a great book for you to start with. Also, I kind of want to throw out the Sissy Squad on this, our Facebook group, because I think what I'm bringing up for you, Hannah, it's Hannah, right? Yeah. Is
no.
This Hannah? This is Poodle's.
You can't remember
lawyer.
shit.
This is Poodle's lawyer.
Poodle's future laureate. PFL.
PFL. For you, PFL, I think you feel alone. And you look, my cubicle job is at a law office. So you can't really talk about this in your law office because I get that. Most law offices would they just think that you aren't qualified.
Right.
And so I can understand in a corporate setting, I doubt there's like a lawyer support group on Facebook about So I think actually, if you're a member of the Sissy Squad on Facebook, and if you're not, I encourage you to join. And all the time we have sissies that jump out and said, "Hey, y'all, I'm going through this right now. Does anybody have something similar like this?"
It's a whole cheerleaders, y'all. It's not empty shit too, because everyone's going through it. And you'll realize
going through it.
Yeah.
And I think what it is for you is that you feel alone. Mm-hmm. And I would love for you to talk to some other people, because this is how a lot of all my friends that are mothers, they're like, I'll say, I'm like, you are such a good mom. And they're like, really, I feel like I'm just doing what moms are supposed to do, but I'm sucking at it. And like you said, Poodle,
all moms are.
All of us are going through this. Women are especially going through this all the time. If I'm not good enough,
because it's culturally already there.
Culturally a thing. So things like therapy and things like that, I think could be great for you. But in the meantime,
Brene Brown, honey, I totally agree.
Think Brene Brown. There's Lori Gottlieb has a book that I'm reading right now that's really good. I'm actually listening to it on Audible. I like it a lot.
I just will say the bottom line here is, I promise you, no one knows what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe you should talk to someone by Lori Gottlieb.
Yeah.
That's a good book. She's a therapist, but it's interesting how her perspective and vulnerability as well. So I think what Poodle and I are just saying, you're just not alone in this, girl. You're not alone.
Yeah, and I promise you, the voices in your head don't know what they're talking about.
And now,
they don't include any perspective at all.
Now, if you feel like you actually are not good at, I don't know, if you're going to trials or you're having to put together like exhibits for a deposition or things like, if it's actual things that are lawyer things that you don't feel equipped to do,
ask for help.
That is there are professional networking communities where you can maybe meet a mentor, or there's also the CLU, the classes that you can take that you have to do anyway for your accreditation for your bar. So look for that kind of stuff if you need support in that way.
I would also just say the Brene Brown kind of concept of that she just talked about on the Unlocking Us, the podcast, is this is a fucking first time. It's an FFT. This is your first year.
And
you've got a lot to learn.
And you're probably working from home. A lot of times when attorneys first start working in law offices, they usually are paired up with a partner or a senior associate that kind of helps guide them. And you're not probably getting that one-on-one interaction right now. So if you feel like it's a safe place for you to do, maybe ask for that at work, but kind of feel that out, because I don't want you to put yourself in a position.
Last thing I will tell you, people who are imposters, who are boasting about what they have, never feel like imposters. Rarely do people who have the perspective to say, I feel like I don't know anything. They're never
People
imposters.
that say they don't, who act like they know everything, aren't good.
No, and
They're not good.
And they are the actual imposters.
They're usually sociopaths.
Yeah.
And huge narcissistics.
Yeah. So if the fact that you're having perspective on it means that in my line of work, you're actually really being thoughtful about what you can do.
Yeah, I think so too.
Which is a good thing. Most likely, you know a lot more than you think you do.
It's like that guy who says, "Oh, I'm a great I'm a great fuck every time." That's the last guy you want to sleep with.
That is the truth.
Because you want a guy who feels a little bit like, some days I have really good days, but you want them always to try to get you off. Always try.
You want him to beg for it.
Beg for it. Please, just love me. Let me stick it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Love it.
Gary,
That's-
but this is the last time.
That's the thing. Sometimes, like, fat guys, y'all, are the best
Oh,
lays.
the
Because they
best.
are so ready.
They are just like attentive.
They're so happy to get it.
They make your body feel like it's on fire.
True. Yo, that's all of Come At Us this week.
That's all of Come At Us this week. We don't know how long this show is because we stopped like 5 fucking times and y'all just didn't know.
We had to have a conference
We had
call
a
and
conference
everything.
call. Poodle had to like sew on his tampon. I don't know. There was a lot of. Anyway,
I had to send Lassie for help.
we appreciated this bonus episode.
We appreciate y'all.
You just heads up, we probably aren't going to have a bonus episode next week, only because we're giving you an extra 90
We're
Day
going
Fiancé.
into the coal mines, y'all.
We're like got 3 90 Day Fiancé shows to watch, and then 2 podcasts to do with it. So
it's going to be a lot.
it's going to be a lot, and the Gatreon. So
There will be a watch and chat next week.
and now we're doing fucking not looking hot, hot looking new,
Too hot to handle.
too hot to handle.
Too hot to handle.
So now we've got that. So that'll become. So y'all have got plenties, but
Yeah.
we love y'all. We
Wanna
appreciate
suck
you.
my fucking nipples?
Gross.
Ain't nothing there.
You can go to 90daygaze.com to
How
find.
long is this?
I don't know.
Jesus.
To find all of our merch, our Sissy That Talk.
Join our sissy squad, y'all. We're supportive.
We're gonna get a Dream It or Cream It shirt. I just haven't had the time to do it, y'all.
No, if you can cream it, you can dream
Whatever.
it. I don't think we should get a shirt. I think we should get a mug.
I think people want shirts.
It's so filthy.
No, there's a couple girls that want cream it on their titties.
Sluts. We're sex positive.
There
We're
are-
sex positive.
Oh, you would want
We're
that.
all
you would want
voluntary
that shirt.
whores.
If you saw that shirt at Buffalo Exchange, you would buy it in a second.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I love slutty. I love leopard, y'all. It's a problem.
He does love leopard. You can also
I'm just a slut, too.
y'all can. I'm just a slut who can't say no. Anyway, y'all, you can also find all our other shows at 90daygaze.com. You can find us at 90daygaze at Twitter and Instagram. And and our Cameo specials going on right now.
Cameo. All of our cameos are for charity, you guys, right now.
Cameo Cares.
Until the
Poodles is
18th.
going to an organization called Music Cares, and mine's going to the Actors
Music
Fund.
Cares is helping musicians because no one's doing anything right now.
Same for
So-
actors, so that's what I'm doing as well. So you can find all that there. And last but not least, nothing warms Poodle's heart.
Then Big D.
A review.
Oh, a review.
Poodle loves a review.
I love a review. Go to our Apple Podcast and leave us a fucking review.
5 stars. And y'all, I think that's it for today. We'll see
Yes.
you around here
See you-
next
see you
time.
later. Bye.
Bye.